Excellent. And I think we are live and on air now. I hope so. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunchtime Live. It's been a month or so since we did one of these, so we thought we'd come back with a slightly different topic this month. We're going to be looking at the issue of how to take a holiday without abandoning your business. So basically, how to get your business kind of ready for you to take a week off in the sun, or not in the sun, depending on your persuasion. I'm here. I'm Adrian from the comms team here at FreeAgent. Hi there. And this is our fantastic chief accountant, Emily, who will be on hand to kind of answer a few of the questions that I have on the best ways to sort of look and prepare and plan ahead for how to be able to take that week off. As I said, we're from FreeAgent, which hopefully you should know is small business accounting software. We work with many tens of thousands of small businesses and help them with all aspects of their sort of business accounting and bookkeeping. So we'll hope that gives us a bit of knowledge and a bit of insight into the how they experience their work, experience their accounts, and hopefully makes us relatively knowledgeable, so we're able to pass some of that on to you. So I think we're probably better get started. If you're watching, you can either leave a question if you have something to ask us through onto the events page, which is how you will have got through to this video. So just write a question there and we will answer it as soon as possible. Or I think you can activate the Q&A widget, which should be somewhere either up at the top or on the right of this page. If you click that, then that should open up a little text box and you can write a question in there. We'll be able to see it in real time and we'll be able to answer it as well. So if there's something that you really want to ask that we're not covering at the time and you want a bit of insight for, just write it there and we'll get to you as soon as possible. So I think the best thing is to start the start, Em, and say that how about we look at how to actually do the planning, do the sort of the forecasting and everything to make sure that your business is in a good place for you to actually be able to take that week, 2 weeks holiday or whatever it is.
Well, you're absolutely right there, Adrian. The key words that you used there were forecasting and planning. So you need to have a think about, well, what is actually going to happen in your business at a particular time? Are there, for example, bills that need to be paid? Is there a big customer who might well want to give you an order? Look back at your business's history. What happened this time last year? What happened this time 2 years ago? What's happening at the moment with your customers? What's happening at the moment in your industry? Are there likely to be big changes? Can you afford to step back? Remember too that as a freelancer, if you don't work, you're probably not going to get paid unless your business has got a monthly subscription model or something like that. So what you need to think about also is your cash flow, and that's where the forecasting comes in. You need to have planned your cash flow carefully. You need to know how much money you expect to have coming in. You need to know what costs you expect to be paying out. And you need to know, well, can your business survive without any income for a week or two? Obviously, we all need a holiday. I'm not for 1 minute saying that you shouldn't take a holiday if you're running your own business. But just by putting those plans in place, you can see, well, can I afford to take it now, or should I maybe leave it a couple of months? Think as well about the seasonal trends in your business. Think about, are you likely to be particularly busy over the summer, or would it maybe be easier for your business if you took a week off, say, in the autumn? So, for example, if you are a florist, you're doing a lot of weddings at the moment, so you may not be able to afford to take time off. Your business may be quieter, say, in the autumn or before the rush of Christmas orders starts coming in. So that might be a better time for your business. But it's a balancing act because, of course, you need a break. So you need to think about, well, what's going to happen in my business? What's happening in my industry? What have my customers been saying lately? Because, of course, you do talk to your customers, don't you? What's coming on the horizon with your suppliers? And think about all of that and plan your numbers carefully so that you know your business is going to be okay to be left.
Okay. So now that obviously the preparation and looking at that kind of stuff has been done, what should you, as a small business owner, be looking at when it comes to sort of preparing those finances? I know you've been you covered this just a little bit there, but going into a bit more detail about, you know, paying your suppliers and that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So in terms of getting your finances into shape, ready to take your break, you've decided, okay, now's the time to have a break. So what should you be doing to get your finances into shape before you go? Well, have a look at what's going to come in the near future. Things like, is there a bill due to one of your suppliers? Is there tax due to HMRC? Because remember, they don't like being kept waiting. They do charge interest and possibly penalties if you're late with a tax bill. So look ahead and see what is going to happen. Think about, could you go onto online banking and put in place any advance payments? Because most banks will actually let you say that you want to make a payment on a date in the future. So think about doing that. Do make sure your records are all up to date. Make sure that you've issued invoices, or I think we're going to talk about automation in a minute, but one point to make is that make sure that you've scheduled to send any invoices that you would need to send while you're away. So for example, if you always invoice on the 1st of the month and you want to be away for the first week in August, then schedule your invoices to go on the 1st of the month. FreeAgent can do that for you automatically. So think about doing that, because that's going to save you having to do what I once did on one occasion on holiday, which was find a cafe in the middle of Wales that had good Wi-Fi and send out all the start of the month invoices. I have done that before, but I certainly wasn't very popular with my husband for having to do that. So just make your plans in advance if you possibly can. Yeah.
Excellent. So that would be the same for, you know, sending your invoices, your tax bills, paying suppliers.
Get ready in advance, and also make sure that you've done things like, as well as preparing your invoices, make sure that you've tracked all your out-of-pocket expenses sort of up to the day you go on holiday. Remember, you can do that really easily on the move using FreeAgent on your mobile. So it's really, really quick and easy to do that. And it saves you worrying about that while you're away or when you come back. It saves you having a big pile of receipts in your wallet to go through and remember now, oh crumbs, is that holiday stuff? Is it business stuff? Oh goodness me, what was it? So you need to sort of have that in mind. Have in mind that when you go on holiday, there will be a build-up of things like emails. There will be a build-up of work to do when you come back. So it makes sense to do as much as you can before you go. And part of that is making sure your books are up to date. So make sure your invoices are prepared, either sent or ready to be sent. Make sure that any payments that are due while you're away have been agreed, have been put on schedule with the bank. Make sure that you've tracked any expenses. Make sure that your bank transactions are all up to date in your accounts. Basically, get everything shipshape before you go.
Yes, and I'd add to that as well. You know, you know, when you come back from your week or 2 weeks holiday, then you're going to have stuff that's happened over that time for you to come back to, and you don't really want to have anything that you've left over from beforehand. You know, if you can get that finished and done before, it not only gives you the peace of mind that, you know, it's been taken care of and it's fine, but also it gives you the peace of mind that it's not there as a nasty little surprise when you come back as well. So
yes, quite right, Adrian.
Just allows you to be a little bit, you know, to enjoy that week away a little bit more.
Exactly. It means you can enjoy your holiday a whole lot more if you haven't got a little nagging goblin sitting in the back of your head going, you didn't do your expenses, you didn't do your invoices. You can just completely forget and enjoy your holiday.
Excellent. Sorry, before we go on to our next topic, I'm just being told by our co-pilots that if you want to ask a question through on this video itself, there is a little button at the top. It's like a square box. If you click that, then you choose the Q&A function that's on it, and that should open up the tab on the right. So if you do that and you want to ask anything, then you can just write it down, which should go into, as you're looking at it, the sort of right hand side of the page. Alternatively, just write it through onto the events page and we'll see it and we'll be alerted to it and we'll be able to answer it as well. Okay, we touched very briefly just there on automation. So I think we'll look at that in a little bit more detail as well. Both the things that you can automate through FreeAgent and other things as well that maybe you can automate through alternative means. But I think probably it's best for you to just go ahead and talk about the main kind of things that you want to think about, automating.
Okay, so it is wise to automate tasks to happen while you're away. I gave the example of invoices, if you always invoice on the first of the month or the last of the month. So in FreeAgent, you can schedule invoices to be sent on a certain day. So you can schedule invoices to be sent while you're on holiday. What you can also do, if you always sell the same services or goods for the same amount on a regular basis, so say each month, you can actually set up recurring invoices, recurring profiles, and you can link that up with the automatic new invoice email to make FreeAgent not only create the invoice automatically, but send it to your client. So you can have FreeAgent effectively doing your invoicing for you automatically. And that, I think, is a really good idea, because if you don't send invoices, your customers won't pay you, and you could come back from your holiday to find your business has run out of cash, which isn't a good place to be in. So make sure that you keep on top of your cash collection by scheduling invoices to be sent. Recurring invoices you can also use. FreeAgent does also have a function that lets you send automatic reminder emails to customers who haven't paid you. So if you've got an invoice that's either completely unpaid or partly unpaid, you can set FreeAgent to send email reminders to your customer. Now that saves you time in the normal day-to-day run of your business, but also while you're on holiday, it could be very valuable, because it could just be that your customer might have been on holiday, they get back, they see your reminder email, oh crumbs, I must pay that person, and they make the payment. So it can really, really help your cash flow to schedule your invoices, use recurring invoices, and use the automatic reminder emails. In terms of what else you might automate in FreeAgent, there's also the bank feeds. What they do is they can pull in transactions automatically from banking. So, for example, if you've scheduled payments to your suppliers to go out while you're on holiday, and you keep the bank feeds running in FreeAgent while you're away, then what will happen is those will pull in the transactions when that money leaves your bank account. So you haven't got to remember to then enter that into your accounts when you get back, because the system will have done it for you. So that's really, really useful to do that. Set up your bank feeds in FreeAgent, and that'll pull through the transactions. One thing, do make sure that your card details are up to date in FreeAgent, your billing information, because for your own security, if your payments to us stop, we have to stop pulling in your bank transactions. So make sure that your card's up to date before you go away. That's a check I would recommend you do. So we've talked about invoicing, we've talked about bank feeds. In terms of what else you might automate, I'd certainly say before you go, make sure your expenses are up to date using your mobile, but I wouldn't try and track expenses while you're away. And the reason why I say that is because it's too easy to get them mixed up with your holiday costs. You might end up putting the wrong figures into FreeAgent. So I would say get that up to date before you go. Don't worry about it while you're there.
No, definitely. And I suppose as well, there's also the issue that if you're not in a place with Wi-Fi, then your data roaming costs might end up being quite high as well.
They might indeed. I was in Paris a couple of months ago, and I actually deliberately switched off 3G on both my phones, even though I'd paid for data roaming in Europe at only £2 a day, I think it was. But I just didn't want to risk it. Plus the fact I wanted to enjoy my time in Paris with Matt rather than picking up emails.
True, and also it's you'll get to the end of it, and trying to claim that back through HMRC might be a bit of a hassle.
It might.
So yeah, I on the automation side, also possibly add to that as well. Even the non sort of specific accountancy tasks that you have as well that you can potentially automate. So like, is there an automatic email responder that you can use or anything? Even even just putting your out of office on is some form of automation. But if there's something a bit more that you can do, is there a place that you can send it? It's that kind of thing. Any of those sort of little incremental business tasks that all add up, the things you do on a day-to-day basis that you probably wouldn't know about, but the moment you go away, it's like, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Yes, exactly. Well, you mentioned the automatic email response, Adrian, the sort of I'm out of office email response. I think those are a very good idea, but what I would say is be very careful how you word them, particularly if you work from home, because something like that can turn into a burglars please stop here if you're too explicit about it. If you say, for example, I'm away on holiday, and you work from home, and if you're a limited company, your registered office address will be on the bottom of your emails, won't it? That's a legal requirement. So by saying explicitly on your email autoresponder that you're away on holiday, you're effectively saying your home's going to be unoccupied. And as I say, that is a risk of saying burglars please stop here. So what I would say with that is be very careful how you word it. Perhaps say you're unavailable or something like that. Or I think with some email programs, it might even be possible to send a different autoresponder to different groups. So, for example, if you have, if you want to be more explicit with your customers, then you can maybe send one responder to their email, and then to any unknown email address, you can send a different response. I think you can do that. I may be dreaming it up, but if you can, I would suggest you do it.
And I think as well, if you're if that's an option that you're looking at, then go online, look at the various programs, companies and stuff that do that, and look for your reviews, find the one that's right for you, and go for it. Same with pretty much every software, to be honest. That.
And the other point I'd just make while we're on the subject of security is be very careful with posting your holiday snaps on social media. There is a question about should you wait till you get back, because again, particularly if you work from home and your business is a limited company and you've got your registered office address at home, then people will know what your home address is. And if you say on, say, Facebook or worse, Twitter, because that's a lot more open, that you're on holiday and you start posting holiday snaps, again, that's a sign saying burglars, please stop here. So just watch yourself.
Exactly. I mean, I think with these, it's worst case scenario.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Be aware of it.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
Is the message here. Okay, we'll go on to some slightly cheerier
yes,
thoughts,
exactly.
I think.
Been ringing the bell there.
As well as automating, there's also I'd say outsourcing is a potentially a very good idea as well for some of the work that you can do. You sort of elaborate a little bit on that.
Certainly,
if you want.
Adrian, yes. Well, think about things like maybe using a call answering service like Moneypenny, for example, to pick up your calls while you're away, because what they'll do is they will answer the phone to your script, and they'll actually take a message for you. And then you'll have those messages either as emails or stored within an online portal so that you can access them later. So calls don't get missed, which I think is very, very important for a small business, because if somebody rings up and can't get through, they're ever likely to go elsewhere if they're a new customer. Excuse me, and that's not good news. So ideally, I would say use a call answering service. And or you could maybe think about having a virtual assistant to possibly take your phone calls, possibly respond to routine emails for you, possibly deal with sort of small day-to-day issues that you don't necessarily need to be there for, maybe things like ordering more packaging to send your goods, something like that. Could a virtual assistant pick that up for you while you're away? If you don't know anybody who might be able to help, then there's sites like Elance or People Per Hour that might be able to help. Alternatively, think about asking around the various trade industries, trade bodies you belong to. For example, if you're a member of IPSI, they may be able to recommend someone for you. If you sell your wares through notonthehighstreet.com, they might possibly have a pool of virtual assistants or people you could ask. Who do you know? Because I think we were going to lead on to that, weren't we, Adrian?
That was actually my next point. Yeah, looking at utilizing your friends, family, your network of people. Before we get onto that, however, I will say there's a few things that we've been talking about, which we will actually put links through onto the event page as well. I know we were talking earlier about forecasting. We have a large guide about the various different sort of forecasts and stuff you can do for your business. So the cash flow forecasts and other forecasts that you need for your business too. So we'll post that. We have a couple of blogs that we've done as well about automation, and also on the wider topic of how to take a holiday without abandoning your business. We'll put those all up as well. They're chock full of like different links and stuff, including links to some of the organizations that we're talking about. So I think there's like a link to Elance in there, there's a link to IPSI, a few of these other places as well. So if you're listening and we're going a bit too fast and you're like, oh no, I want to know more, don't worry, they will be there. Okay, so we've probably got about sort of five-ish minutes left as well. Again, if you do have any questions, just post them up on the wall, up on the Q&A app, and we'll get to them. And if not, then we'll probably wrap up in about sort of 5 minutes or so. But we've got 2 more things to talk about. And the first that we just alluded to there was the idea of using your network to find people that will be able to help you while you're away.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So think about not only contacts that you might have through professional networks, but also friends and family. Could they maybe help with things like answering routine emails, or could they maybe help with answering your phone? For example, if you've got a friend nearby who goes round to feed your cat while you're on holiday, then would they be able to perhaps open your business mail for you and get rid of any junk mail so that you don't have a huge pile to go through when you come back? So think about, could your friends or family help you? But one thing I would say with that is just be a little bit careful, because of course if somebody makes the wrong decision, remember it's your business, and if there's a friendship at stake as well, it could all get very messy. So think very carefully on an individual basis about who you're happy to ask for help in your business, and do think as an alternative about asking around your professional networks for help, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say as well, if you are getting friend or family to help, then also remember as well that you probably have to repay that favor as well.
Exactly,
unless
right,
you're paying them.
Yes,
then
yes, exactly. I was thinking when I was talking about asking a neighbour to open your business mail and prune out junk mail, I was thinking, yes, do bring them back a nice big bottle of wine from your holiday, or whatever else it may be, or be prepared to do the same for them, maybe if they run a business. So that's possibly a good idea if you've got a small local professional network. Think about, could you help each other? So when they go away, could you cover for them? I read about 2 doctors who ran practices in neighbouring towns in rural Western Scotland, and they used to always locum for each other. Whenever one was on holiday, the other doctor would cover both practices. And so they'd take that in turns so that they both got a break. And because they didn't actually have to bring in anybody else to locum, they both got to know each other's practice very well, and they could help each other out. So that works well.
Yeah, I'd say as well, leading on from what you were talking about before, if you're a member of one of those organizations like, IPSI or National Enterprise Network, one of these sort of places, and you can, make an arrangement with another member who you know or you contact there to, potentially take on some of the work that you're doing, or to just, keep an eye on the business while you're away. But also who can contact you in case of an emergency as well. That's kind of a big deal. If you're, a couple of countries away or in a different time zone, then actually having someone that's back on the ground and there to see things in real time as they come in, and if there's a problem, if there's something that happens, can get in touch with you, then that's really useful as well. So if you've got that that arrangement with an organization, or that kind of professional relationship with someone, then that's really, really useful.
I'd agree with that, but I think also remember, is this a holiday or is it work time? Think about, does the person you're going to leave in charge actually know what constitutes an emergency in your business that would warrant interrupting your holiday, and what doesn't? Because I certainly remember reading, I think it was Gerald Durrell, when he went on holiday, when he went away to write, he used to tell the staff at his zoo, look, you do not interrupt me unless it's a case of all the animals are dying from some dreadful disease, or a very rare creature is giving birth. Then I'll come back. Otherwise, you deal with it and you leave me alone.
So actually that kind of segues nicely back into what we were talking about before. That's the planning and stuff. Actually have it set out. Here's what I need to know about. If that happens, get in touch. If it doesn't, leave me alone because I'm sunbathing.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And we were going to talk about, should you work on holiday?
I did that almost worked as an equally good segue straight into our final point, which is, if you have done all this stuff, if you looked at it and you think, actually, I still don't know whether I can take a week off, why not work during your holiday? We did some research a few years back about this, where we actually asked people, how likely would they be to be using their smartphones or their tablets just to check their emails to do work-related stuff if they took a holiday, and there was actually quite a sizable amount that said that they would. And we thought that was kind of strange at the start, but then actually thinking about it, we thought, well, if you are running a business, then you do want to be you're that close to it, you do want to be on on top of everything as it goes along, and that maybe even includes being on holiday. You don't want to switch off fully from it just in case something happens. So consider, I think the term's been coined by others, not from us, but although we've taken it on as a whirl a day. So it's
Lucy Kellaway, I think, came up with that, from the Financial Times.
It was, yes.
Could you take a whirl a day? So where you would possibly put aside a couple of hours first thing in the morning to do a little bit of work on your business, or if you are staying somewhere warm, maybe take a couple of hours after lunch at siesta time. Would you say go back to a nice cool hotel air-conditioned room and spend a couple of hours working there rather than being on the beach in the blazing sun? But one thing I would say be careful of there is ration your time. Try not to spend all your day working. Remember, it is a holiday. A couple of hours or an hour every day might well put your mind at rest and make you feel more able to enjoy your holiday if you're not fretting about what's going on with the business while you're away. But equally, it is a holiday, so I would say have a routine and stick to it. Plan when you're going to work and try not to work at other times. And also make sure that you're going to have the tools you need to work. Make sure that you've got an adequate computer or smartphone. Make sure that your hotel Wi-Fi is strong enough and secure enough. Watch out for free Wi-Fi networks. They're not always secure. A paid Wi-Fi network, yes, it costs, but it's safer. And also, if you're needing to work on a mobile phone, whether that's to receive data or whether it's to make calls, careful of the costs, because of course they can mount up. Put another planning point before you go away is sign up for your networks over abroad. Data plans. For example, when I was in Paris, I could get O2 data for £2 a day. Sign up to something like that, because otherwise you could find the charges running away with you. Also, watch out for the charges for international calls, particularly from a mobile phone, and text messages. Sometimes you'll pay to receive text messages as well as send them while you're away. Think too about where your customers are. If you've got customers across the world, then think about, is an international call from, say, France to South Africa going to be more expensive than making a call from the UK to South Africa? Do your research.
Yeah, and I think as that do your research and probably also account for the location that you decide to go to as well. I've certainly heard of freelancers, small business owners who make their holiday destination decisions based purely on the strength of the Wi-Fi, how connected they are, and stuff as well. So I'd say if you're the kind that wants a private island in private or semi-private island in the Maldives, the likelihood of having exceptional Wi-Fi there is probably less likely than in the middle of Brussels, for example. So
exactly. But there are dead spots for Wi-Fi in the middle of any city.
Exactly.
Edinburgh's got plenty of mobile shadows, probably because it's surrounded by mountains. So think as well about where you're going in terms of terrain. That's a slightly daft thing to say, but if you're up in the mountains in Switzerland or Austria, for example, are you going to have decent mobile connectivity?
Exactly. You don't need to be a professional geographer, but a little bit of research does go a long way.
It does.
And on that note, I think we'll probably call it quits for today. Thank you very much. If you've come along and you've watched this, really appreciate you tuning in, and we hope that some of the stuff we've been talking about, or all the stuff we've been talking about, has been useful. This video will also be getting uploaded straight onto YouTube as well. So if you missed the first bit or you kind of dipped in and out, then the whole thing will be able to watch. So just look for FreeAgent. I think it's either FreeAgent or FreeAgent Accounting. One of the two should get you through to our YouTube channel page, and you'll be able to see the latest version. We'll also tweet it and we'll put it on Facebook later on in the week as well. So if you keep an eye out there, then you should see it. Before we go, I'll say as well, we usually run weekly Q&As on Google Plus and also on Facebook. The video ones are kind of usually a once a month deal, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, depending on what we've got to talk about that month. But we do try and do a weekly Q&A on text through over on our Facebook page, which is FreeAgent app, and our Google Plus page, which is FreeAgent, and you should know that because you've hopefully come here from there. And we also put out reminders through on Twitter, which is @FreeAgent, and also on LinkedIn as well. So you can just look for FreeAgent there. And if you're not already, like all of our pages, because we always like people doing that.
We do.
We'll say as well, if you are FreeAgent user, brilliant, excellent. You'll hopefully know how to do a lot of this stuff, but we will post a few links for some of the automation bits that we've been talking about as well. And we'd also recommend, if you go through to freeagent.com and look at our knowledge base, there will actually be some information there as well about various things that you can automate. So hopefully that will be really interesting. If you just go to the homepage and then look under support, I think it is, and you should find knowledge base, or you can just go to the search function and just look for that and you'll find it. And finally, if you're not using FreeAgent yet, or if you're looking for a better way of staying on top of your accounts, then we would recommend you going along through to our website and taking out a no obligation 30-day free trial. Have a look, see if you like it, play around with some other systems as well, and see which one you like best. But we're pretty confident if you are a small business owner that is a freelancer or runs a business with 9 or fewer employees, then we're going to be the one for you. So please do have a look and check us out and see how we can help you. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you in our Q&As or back here in a month's time for our next Lunchtime Live.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.